everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dr. V's Motivational Monday, a video series on self-regulation and effective learning strategies, where our goal is to learn how to learn, because after all, learning should be fun. And today, I want to talk about something that we've all been doing since early kindergarten. It is the importance of reading. We actually need to talk about why it matters to read before class. Your instructor is going to assign you some reading materials, and it is going to matter that you've engaged with those materials before you enter the classroom. Reading before class matters, it empowers, and it genuinely helps. Let's talk about each of these areas. First, we need to really think about whether or not a carpenter would be effective if he doesn't bring the correct tools to the site. Or would a doctor be effective if she doesn't bring the right tools to the operating room? So then really it makes us question, how effective can a student be if they don't bring the right tools with them to the classroom? And when we talk about the right tools, we're talking about reading the material before class. Reading is going to give you the tools to build your understanding and make genuine, meaningful connections to what the instructor is talking about. Reading before class matters, guys, because what it's going to do is it's going to introduce to you key concepts and context. That doesn't mean from just reading it one time through that you're going to have it down, but it does mean that some things are going to be more familiar than they would have been had you not read. Reading before class also empowers you. It is going to allow you to come into the room having identified areas of interest or areas of confusion. And in doing so, you're going to be able to ask more meaningful questions or to engage in class in more meaningful participatory ways. And last, reading before class really genuinely helps. If you review the material beforehand, you're actually going to reinforce the material in the room. So if you think about it like this, if you don't engage with the material, then the first time you're going to be exposed to anything is in the classroom, which you're not going to have enough time to clarify all your points of interest. However, if you go through it beforehand, you're going to be able to refine those points of interest and better understand things than you would have before. So we've talked about why it matters that we read. Now let's talk about some ways that we can do this in a more effective and time-efficient way. The first thing you can do is skim for structure. Rather than going through the entire reading assignment from the start, go ahead and review the reading assignment or preview the reading assignment to look for headings and subheadings and any big summaries so you can get a really good understanding of what the big picture is before you start diving into the individual sections. You're also going to want to focus on the purpose of the reading assignment. So what are the key concepts and terms, and how do those relate to the objectives that the teacher has laid forth for that week? For instance, in all of my classes, we always operate under a big question. So as you read or preview the material, you should be focusing on how it allows you to answer that big question. Third, you can ask questions before you come to class. When you're reading, go ahead and jot down anything that's confusing. This is a process known as annotating the reading, which is going to allow you to engage with it more deeply than you would have before, and it's going to give you the materials you need to come into the discussion able to add really genuinely positive contributions to the overall conversation. And last, I want to encourage you to use chunking behaviors. What that's going to mean is instead of trying to read an entire 20-page assignment all in one turn, go ahead and break that down into more manageable pieces. What that's going to do is it's going to help you avoid information overload. You can go through it a bit more slowly and pay attention to some of the more key elements, right? So each section can kind of have a big idea. If you think about the headings as a way to guide that, it really is an effective way to engage with your readings. That is everything I have for this week's episode of Dr. V's Motivational Monday. If you have any questions or want to say in the content created, please go ahead and scan this QR code. Otherwise, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can also be included in future videos. That's all I've got. Take care, everybody.